Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is LaSorsa with Illustrated Properties in West Palm Beach. And I wanted to put together a little video for everybody to talk about buying a home. And if you're a first-time home buyer, this is going to come in handy. I'm going to have links at the end of the video for all the stuff that I'm talking about. And if you haven't bought a home in a while, you probably know all this stuff, but it'll be a good refresher. And what this video is really about is all the other costs aside from your mortgage that you need to think about when you buy a home. A lot of people, when they're looking at houses, they look at the price, they go to a mortgage calculator and say, okay, well, this is how much house I can afford. Hopefully you know what your taxes are going to be. Maybe you don't, but you got to find out. That's really not the true cost of what your house is going to cost you every month. There are other things like insurance, maintenance, taxes are a huge thing down here. We don't have income tax, but property tax is about 2% of the value of your home. So that's something I'm going to talk about a little later. But the first step to buying a home, wherever you are in the country, doesn't have anything to do with South Florida, is go get pre-qualified. You have to know how much the bank is going to lend you. Or even if they're going to lend you money, they may not lend you money. If you have a bad credit score, it may take some time to repair your credit, and a good mortgage lender is going to help you do that. You should never pay anybody to repair your credit. We work with a company at Illustrated Properties. It's an affiliate of ours called Capital Mortgage Partners. They can do free credit repair for you. So you may not be ready to buy a home, which you may not even know. You think you may be ready, you're ready to go, you're excited, but you may not have the money because nobody's going to lend you the money. So that's really the first step. And I always tell people, while it's exciting to look at homes, if you're not pre-qualified, first off, you can't put an offer on a home. So you may fall in love with a house and you're ready to go. And guess what? You can't put the offer because you have no proof of funds. Somebody may swoop. Now, you can get a pre-qualification if things are in order pretty quickly. But if it comes back that they're not going to lend you the amount that you need to buy the home, you're going to be really disappointed. Or even worse, you do meet the requirements, you get pre-qualified, and guess what? Somebody came in that afternoon, put an offer, proof of funds. Guess what? Your house is gone. It just got bought from underneath you. So in order to avoid all that, you should go get pre-qualified. That way you're ready to go. In addition to the pre-qualification, you should have the money that you're going to need to put a deposit in your bank account. Not in somebody else's bank account, not in your grandma's bank account, not in a brokerage account that's tied up in stocks. Free the money up, get it into an account that you can write a check out of or get a cashier's check. All right, these are kind of the first two things. The money can wait, but the pre-qualification thing is really important. So the other three things that I want to talk about, which you really need to get a good grip on when you buy a home, is the taxes, the insurance, and maintenance. These are all things that, well, people usually don't overlook the taxes, but the insurance is something that people tend to overlook, and maintenance, especially down in Florida, unless you plan on doing all the work yourself, it can add up. I mean, it could be a small car payment. If you have a pool, you're looking at $80 a month. Maybe you're looking at somebody to cut your lawn, that's another $200. You got a pest control guy, you got to have your air conditioning guy. So these are costs directly associated with your home. So let's start at the top, taxes. Some people say, oh, well, what is the guy paying on taxes for this house? In Florida, what the previous owner is paying is totally irrelevant to what your tax situation is going to be. If this is going to be your primary residence, I'm going to put the website at the bottom of the page, but you can go to the Palm Beach County Tax Appraiser's office. You can type in the address, type in the purchase price, click Homesteaded, and it's going to tell you your tax liability for the year. But a good thing to do when you're just looking at houses, if you don't want to go to the property tax appraiser's office and do all that, 2% of the purchase price. So if you bought a $400,000 house, that's going to be an $8,000 a year tax bill every year. So when you start breaking that down, it's a significant portion of money every month. It's going to go towards your taxes. It's going to be on top of your mortgage payment. The other thing, insurance, homeowners insurance. We live in Florida. We have hurricanes. You need homeowners insurance. Oh, and we also have floods. If you live in a flood zone, okay, these are also things that you need to be completely aware of. Now, homeowners insurance is not the same as flood insurance. So don't think when you get homeowners insurance, if there's a flood, that your homeowners insurance is going to pay for it. Because guess what? They are not going to pay you a penny. And I am not an insurance representative, so I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but I know for a fact that floods are not covered under your homeowner's policy. You will need to get flood insurance through FEMA, which is a federal it's a federal program, and they're going to charge you an annual price for your flood insurance based on your flood zone. I urge people. A lot of brokers say that they don't get this question frequently. That usually they're doing quotes for people based on after they're already in contract. I urge you, if you have a really good insurance broker and you're ready to put an offer on a home, call them up and say, hey, look, I really, we don't have an inspection yet. We don't have the 4-point. We don't have wind mitigation yet. But worst case scenario, how much is my homeowner's insurance going to cost me a year? And you can obviously divide it by 2 and see what your monthly obligation is. There are some major things that you should be thinking about when looking for a home, things that are going to save you a lot of money. One thing that I've found that most people don't talk about is roof straps. What is a roof strap? It's basically a piece of metal that's nailed not only to the roof, but to the frame of your home. So when a wind gust comes, it doesn't just rip your roof off. And roof straps on my policy went from $5,000 when I bought the house to after I replaced my roof and I put the roof straps on, which cost me about $2,000, my policy went from $5,000 to $2,500. So this is a huge savings. Basically, I paid for my straps in the first year of savings. There's some other things like hurricane impact windows. Those are the 2 major ones that I can think of off the top of my head. And if you don't have hurricane impact windows, if you have hurricane impact shutters, that's important. Or, if you love the house but it doesn't have any of these things, how much is it going to cost you to get them? Or are you okay with the price of your homeowner's insurance? Okay, so that's my insurance section. I did my taxes, maintenance. Like I said, this is Florida, and there's a lot of maintenance required. If you don't live down here, your grass grows fast. Things get dirty. Things need to get done. If you have a pool, you got to be out there every week. Me personally, I do all my own work. I guess I'm thrifty, but it can add up. I know if I had to hire people for all the stuff that I do, I'd probably be looking at around $500 to $600 a month in maintenance costs to take care of my property. So that's something I always like to talk to people about. So when you add up all these things on top of your mortgage payment, and if you're not putting 20% down, you're also going to have to pay PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. So it's going to be another cost on top of your mortgage. Take the time. Find out your taxes. Find out, let's approximate maintenance. Call your broker. Get the quote for your insurance. Take all these numbers. How much is it going to cost you on an annual basis? Divide it by 12. Throw it on top of your mortgage and your PMI. And figure out, can you afford this house? And if you can't, although maybe you got pre-approved for a certain amount, maybe you need to reassess and say, you know what, instead of a $400,000 house, after looking at all the costs associated with this, maybe I can only afford a $300,000 house or a $250,000 house. And as a realtor, you would think I'm trying to get you to buy a more expensive house. I want to make sure that you get into a house that you can afford, because the last thing I'd ever want to see is one of my clients get into a house that they couldn't afford, get foreclosed on, and well, you know what happens after that. it turns into a downward spiral. It ruins your credit. It's problematic for the next 7 years. I want to make sure that my clients go into every transaction with their eyes wide open and never feel like at the end of it that, wow, I bought this house. It was supposed to be my dream, and it turned into a nightmare because it's costing me another $1,000 a month on top of my mortgage. So anyway, that's it. I tried to keep it short, but I ended up at 10 minutes, 30 seconds. If you guys have any questions at all, please give me a call, 561-444-7716. Check me out at www.lasorsagroup.com. You can shoot me an email at nlasorsa@lasorsagroup.com. I'm based here I'm in West Palm Beach. My office is on Dixie Highway right next to downtown West Palm. I would be more than happy to speak with you about anything real estate related. Or if you just want to chat about West Palm and why you should move here, I'd be happy to talk about that too. Have a great day, everybody, and thanks for watching.